It's Wednesday, November 19.
It would be a Swedish fighter jet, world class, but it would be a true partnership.
As representatives hold talks in Ottawa, Sweden is pushing for Canada to buy Gripen jets.
So this is affecting 3 different revenue streams where I do earn money. And to have it down for a month, especially in Q4, this is the busiest time of year, is going to be a major impact on my business.
A Saskatoon content creator fighting to regain control of her Facebook page.
This is unbelievable.
It's been a long time coming.
Saskatchewan people are the most proudest people in the country, and I think it'll just bring us all together.
And we've got video from the celebration yesterday in Rider Nation. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Happy Wednesday.
You should be one of the most popular people in Saskatchewan, at least you up until a little bit later this morning, because the Grey Cup parade yesterday rained across the city, and then it was brilliant for the parade.
Yes. So I ordered that, especially for everybody attending the parade. You're welcome.
Good, because today in Saskatoon, if we show you the sky cam, a little bit different today.
I didn't order that. Oh, no. I'd like to retract my previous statement that I can control the weather. I just report it.
Jeremy Dodge was posting pictures outside of the station, and it looks cold.
Yes.
Let's get to your news. Your weather's coming up in just a second. Sweden's royal family will start day 2 of their Canadian visit today. On their first day in Canada, King Carl Gustaf XVI and Queen Silva were welcomed at Rideau Hall. They also met with Prime Minister Mark Carney before taking part in a state dinner. The royals also brought along a delegation to pitch their Gripen fighter jet.
It would mean Canadian jobs in Canada. It would be a Swedish fighter jet, world class, but it would be a true partnership.
Sweden is selling the Gripen to Canada as the ideal fighter jet for Arctic defense. Its makers, Saab, also wants the deal to buy the jets, could bring as many as 10,000 jobs to Canada. Our country currently has a deal to buy F-35 jets from the U.S. Officials in Canada and Sweden are suggesting there is room for both jets in our military fleet. Hoping to attract new investments, Prime Minister Mark Carney is en route to the United Arab Emirates and South Africa. It is Carney's first official visit to both countries since becoming PM, and senior government officials say the trip is to deepen partnerships and attract capital to Canada. His first stop will be in Abu Dhabi for meetings with government and business officials. Federal workers are still waiting on word on which jobs will be cut as a result of the new budget. The union representing thousands of public servants says they should hear something soon.
We haven't heard any new information. The budget just passed. We expect that our members would be notified by their managers shortly.
The government plans to reduce the size of the federal public service by 28,000 jobs by 2029. It's part of the budget's plan to find $60 billion in savings over the next 5 years. As part of the comprehensive expenditure review, the government will reduce 16,000 full-time equivalent positions, including 650 executive spots. Another 12,000 positions will be eliminated through attrition and early retirement packages. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon said that he believes the impact on people will involuntary departures will be minimal. The Saskatchewan Roughriders brought the Grey Cup home to Regina for the first time in 12 years yesterday. Alison Bamford on the ground for the celebration.
Cheers, smiles, and celebration. A moment not seen since the Roughriders last won the Grey Cup in 2013. And one these fans didn't want to miss.
12 years is quite a long time to go without a Grey Cup.
Thousands lined the streets to catch a glimpse of a winning team and the trophy back on Saskatchewan soil once again.
I just feel like the cup always belongs here.
Some skipped work, others cut class.
To get autographs and stuff, I'm just happy.
This couple drove 2 hours to be here, wanting to celebrate a win for the province at a time when they say the community needed a reason to unite.
I think think Saskatchewan people are the most proudest people in the country, and I think it'll just bring us all together.
The fanfare culminated on the steps of the legislative building.
This is unbelievable.
The team hoisting the cup over top a sea of green, giving Rider Nation and Saskatchewan something to cheer about.
It's nice to celebrate something, especially after the disappointing Blue Jays.
Rider fans have lived through their own fair share of disappointment. This is just the team's 5th Grey Cup win in over 100 years.
It's been a long time coming.
But they say that's what makes days like this even sweeter. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Regina.
A 66-year-old man serving time at the Regina Correctional Center died over the weekend. On October 27th, the inmate was transferred to the Pasqua Hospital in Regina because of a pre-existing health condition. He died in hospital on November 15th. The Saskatchewan Coroner Service is investigating, although foul play is not suspected. Pontex RCMP are investigating an incident where a cow was shot to death. Around 7:45 in the evening on November 4th, officers responded to a report of a cow being shot on a rural property near Pontex. Earlier this year, on July 7th, something similar happened on a different property near that town. There is no indication these incidents are connected. If you have any information, you're asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. A total of 5 people have been charged in connection with a Saskatoon homicide last year. Jeremy Dodge is following this. Jeremy, what are we learning?
Well, Daryl, it was December 18th last year. Saskatoon police executing a search warrant at a house in the 1700 block of 22nd Street West. They arrived to find a person dead. His identity was not made public. On November 14th and 17th this year, Saskatchewan police arrested and charged 22-year-old Emery Aubuchon and 45-year-old Vernon Pequaquat for first-degree murder, offering an indignity to human remains and unlawful confinement. 41-year-old Donovan Lemstra was arrested in Calgary earlier this month and brought back to Saskatoon. And 40-year-old Michael Landry and 27-year-old Michael McCallum also arrested in Saskatoon. All 5 accused facing the same charges. Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block on the hot seat, speaking to business leaders yesterday. Her chat with the Business Association members comes a week before the city sits down for multiple marathon meetings to finalize the city budget for the next 2 years. From city spending to police to the arena project, she answered questions about decisions made at City Hall. With council staring an 8.2% increase to property taxes down, businesses stressed a need to keep tax raises sustainable, but the mayor wants to balance affordability now with planning for the future.
I think it's wise that we take that long view and make the tough decisions now rather than paying more money later just to have a reprieve from property tax right now.
Councillors will get to work on a 2-year budget next week. That will include a proposed 6% increase to property taxes in 2027. All right, Daryl, what's the most stolen car of the last year?
Funny you should ask, Jeremy. There's a new model on top of the list in Canada.
It's very serviceable globally. It's a good utility vehicle, meaning it can be used in a variety of terrains and jurisdictions.
According to the Ekite Association, the Toyota RAV4 is the most frequently stolen vehicle in Canada, at least it was last year, followed by the Dodge Ram 1500, the Honda CR-V, the Ford F-150, and the Honda Civic. It's always on the list. The Toyota Highlander was the most stolen in 2023. The report also says vehicle thefts are down across the country this year by 19%. A Saskatoon content creator says her business has taken a major hit after Facebook suddenly shut down her page. Ashlyn George has spent a decade or so growing the Lost Girls Guide to Finding the World, turning her travel and adventure content into a full-time business. But she says her Facebook page with 22,000 followers was recently suspended without warning. Meta apparently flagged the account for impersonation, but George says she wasn't impersonating anyone and wasn't given a chance to appeal.
So this is affecting 3 different revenue streams where I do earn money, and to have it down for a month, especially in quarter 4, this is the busiest time of year, it's going to be a major impact on my business.
Her account is now on hold until at least December 4th. A third period collapse extended the Moose Jaw Warriors' winless skid to 3.
Jacobson moving to the middle. Wrist shot off a shin pad. Brzezinski scores.
Grayson Brzezinski had a pair of goals, including the game winner, as the Brandon Wheat Kings scored 3 goals in the third period en route to a 6-4 win over the Moose Jaw Warriors. The Pats are the lone Saskatchewan team in action tonight. They are in Spokane, Washington. We're going to take a look outside, Kayleen, at the highway hotline, because that winter weather that we talked about in Saskatoon is moving its way through. And boy, oh boy, anywhere around North Battleford and west of Saskatoon looks to be a mess.
Yeah, and that's actually been spreading quite a bit this morning, Daryl. When we came into the office about 2 hours ago here, it was just around North Battleford, but as we continue to see that snowfall, we are seeing the highway hotline light up in pink, meaning more covered roads. So drive carefully out there. We are expecting that to continue to spread into the later parts of this morning, as we're still seeing a little bit of that on our radar. We're going to show you that in just a minute, but as you can see, areas down towards the south where we're not seeing that snow falling, we're seeing the fog this morning. We don't officially have that dense fog advisory in effect, but we are seeing quite a bit of reduced visibility across the south this morning. 2 degrees to wake us up in Regina, 9 km/h winds. In Saskatoon, we also are seeing some reduced visibility, just not quite as much with that fog. -1 is where we're sitting. Some of those flurries still, and winds very calm to start the day. Here's a look at that radar and satellite to show you that system that brought that precipitation overnight into the early morning hours this morning. So Prince Albert, Saskatoon, and areas surrounding those cities getting some snow, some freezing rain, and some of that rain as well. Current temperatures now, we're seeing -17 in Stony Rapids, -1 in Prince Albert, -3 in Nipawin, -1 to wake us up in Melfort, and -1 in Hudson Bay. 3 degrees in Moose Jaw right now, 2 degrees in Estevan, and 0 degrees to wake us up in Yorkton. Now, if you're wondering what we're going to be seeing moving through the province for the rest of the day, well, this is what we're seeing right about now. So the system is it's pushing away from the Saskatoon area. Prince Albert still really going to be seeing those flurries for the rest of the morning. Into the afternoon, we'll see it up through Nipawin area and then exiting the province into the afternoon hours. And then we're also going to be seeing those clouds start to clear as well. So we're going to be seeing a bit more of that sunshine today than what we saw yesterday. We just have to make our way into the later parts of the afternoon. Thursday, this is at about 3:30 p.m. We're not seeing any more of that precipitation, so that's nice to see. When we do see that coming back in, though, is in the later parts of the morning on Friday. We see this system bringing some freezing rain to areas around Prince Albert and some flurries to area north of the city. Today's forecast, though, we're seeing about 2 degrees this afternoon for Swift Current, about 3 degrees for Moose Jaw, 5 degrees for Estevan, and Yorkton with that fog, 2 degrees this afternoon. 7-day forecast, not showing a lot of precipitation until our next work week. The weekend, going to be seeing some of those positive temperatures and sunshine. 2 degrees with that snow on the way for Monday, though, and down to -5 on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing that high of 1 degree today, -2 tomorrow, 0 degrees on Friday. Still seeing those positive temperatures on the weekend. However, Saturday morning could be seeing just a little bit of those flurries pushing off for the afternoon. And then Monday and Tuesday, it will be into the afternoon hours.
A new study by the Dalhousie Agri-Food Analytics Lab finds weight loss drugs are changing the way Canadians eat and shop for food.
These numbers are incredibly scary for the food industry. You have to understand that a lot of companies have based their business models on impulse buying.
The study surveyed more than 8,000 Canadians. Nearly 47% said they use Ozempic solely for type 2 diabetes, while 35% use it for weight loss alone. And with the arrival of the similar drug, Wegovy, experts are worried food, eating, and shopping trends will continue to be affected. The study found nearly 19% of people are buying fewer groceries, 15% are cutting back on fresh meat, and a little more than 12% are buying fewer fruits and vegetables.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
In case you missed it, the big man himself was on hand at Denmark's Tivoli Gardens, opened for the Christmas season.
Merry Christmas! Tivoli Christmas! Christmas in Tivoli! Welcome to all of you!
The attraction in Copenhagen turns 182 this year. They don't look a day over 180.
No.
They're using more than 1 million twinkling lights, over 1,000 Christmas trees, and about 160,000 sparkling baubles.
Okay.
The garden also hosted a Halloween event, so they've turned everything over in just about 2 weeks.
Professionals. Look at the lily pads. Those are spectacular.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
They could use some snow.
There are your baubles.
Yeah. You want to share some of that, Jeremy?
No, so you can keep that.
We got plenty.
All there. Oh, boy. Saskatoon is snowy. Question of the day has nothing to do with snow.
Well, it actually might, because what's something that can always change your bad days to good again? And I was actually just thinking, there's a lot of people that are going to roll their eyes when I say this, but I am ready for the snow down in the south. I think it gets me in the Christmas spirit. And when I first see snowfall, my husband always laughs at me, because when I see it, I go, oh my gosh, it's magical, it's amazing, it's beautiful, the whole world changes color.
It's fine, and that's fine. And I don't mind it as long as it's a gradual descent. What I don't want is rain, you know, so you get that thick coat of ice underneath, and then the snow. That's yeesh.
Yeah, our snow this morning is very wet and heavy, so it's not going to be a nice commute.
It rained a lot here yesterday. That's the problem. That's what I'm worried about. We want to hear from you. What's turning your frown upside down? Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. Let's take a look over the City of Champions this morning. What we can see of it, this would be Regina, if you could make it out.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we're going to the pitch. It's World Cup qualifying. Scotland, Denmark, 3 minutes in. Loose ball finds Scott McTominay, and he delivers on a brilliant bicycle kick. How about that? His second goal of the qualifying round. Scotland would go on to win a thriller, punching their ticket to the World Cup for the first time in 28 years. McTominay earns the must-see moment. Tonight on TSN, we got Tangerine Raptors basketball. They're taking on the 76ers. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern across the TSN network. That's all for now, everyone. Have a great day.
Well, with the freshly fallen snow, it is truly beginning to look a lot like Christmas this morning, and that is certainly the case for Mike Siona. Mike, where are you at?
Well, I'm clearly walking in a winter wonderland this morning, but we have delved inside to see the festive Christmas trees, which have arrived now at Dutch Growers. I'm here with Jill Van Dyvendijk, as we often are, talking about Christmas, and there's, what, 500-600 trees here?
Yeah, we have well over 600 trees here, which are going to go fast, and it is the season. Everybody's going to be coming in to pick up their tree and getting those smells and those traditions going this season.
And it definitely smells like the season here. How do you pick a tree? What do you need to consider?
Well, a few things you want to look for is you want to feel the branches, and you want to sort of play with them. If the needles are falling off, the tree doesn't have moisture in it anymore. Also, pick your tree up. If it's nice and heavy, you got lots of moisture still in that tree. So the weight of a tree is really important. One thing we do have is we only have Fraser fir trees this year. There was a tree shortage about 10 to 15 years ago, so we're still trying to catch up from that. Those trees do take about 10 years to grow. So make sure you grab your tree early. Don't wait until the 15th of December, because you're not going to find a tree.
Okay, there you go. And why wouldn't you get it going? Now, you also have all of the other fanfare accessories. What are some of these products here? How do they help?
Yeah, so one is the Stay Fresh for the tree. This is just a liquid you put in your water and help keeps those pores a little bit more open at the bottom of the tree, so it soaks up the water. It's really important you're keeping your tree hydrated. The first couple of days that I put my tree up, it will actually drink up about 8 to 12 liters of water. Wow. So make sure you're checking it those first couple days. It does drink a lot. And then this one here is called Wilt Proof. For us who like to put our trees up in November, you might want to give a little extra spray with this. You can just do this, throw a tarp down in the garage, spray your tree down. It seals up those needles so that it doesn't perspire. So this is something you can use on your wreaths and your trees, or even your cedars outside. You do need to do this in plus temperatures though, so inside a garage is important. And then the last thing I have is a Christmas tree bag. Now, you were mentioning you might have to haul this in your minivan this year. So putting putting it in a Christmas tree bag is really important. Then you can sort of save those needles from getting all around. And then just sort of pull it down around the base, around your tree skirt, pull it back up at the end of the season, and you're ready to go take it to the disposal area.
Perfect. I don't know how we got all that in 2 minutes, but they've got a wealth of information down here and a ton of trees. We'll be here as the morning continues.
I bet it smells great in there, Mike. We'll check back in with you later on.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA, School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, 2 degrees right now, and we're not really going to be getting all too much warmer than what we're seeing right now. It is foggy to start the day, though, so be very careful out on your morning commute. In Saskatoon, -1, still seeing some of those flurries that we saw overnight. Again, drive carefully out there. Lunchtime in Regina, we'll be sitting at those daytime highs, 3 degrees for Regina with that cloud cover. A little bit more sunshine for Saskatoon, 1 degree. And then by final bell, dropping down to 2 degrees in Regina with winds coming in up to about 35 kilometers per hour, 0 degrees for Saskatoon. As we get a break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price to fill up, $124.9. The lowest you might find is $109.9. In Saskatoon, the common price this morning, $121.9, and the lowest you might find is $117.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola is at $595.02 per ton, and the futures price at $655.10 per ton. Amber Durham wheat this morning at $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat at $253.70 per ton. And the Canadian dollar beginning the day trading up at 71.44 cents US. After the break, an update on the financial situation over at Canada Post. Stay with us.
Welcome back to your morning. Let's get right into it. Canada Post's CFO says the Crown Corporation is now effectively insolvent, with losses topping $1 billion this year. Canada Post expects to lose up to 30,000 employees to retirement or voluntary departure over the next decade as it tries to get costs under control. It plans to use attrition first to downsize from the roughly 62,000 people it employed at the end of last year. Canada Post has struggled recently with labor disputes and a steady decline in letter mail. After months of delays and pushback, the Jeffrey Epstein case files could soon be fully exposed.
We were victimized as children and failed repeatedly by the very system that was supposed to protect us.
Survivors gathered at the Capitol in the U.S. to speak out as both the U.S. House and Senate approved a bill to force the Justice Department to publicly release the files on the late convicted sex offender. It comes after months of opposition from U.S. President Donald Trump and Republican leadership. Trump now claims he will sign the bill. The bill forces the release within 30 days of all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any information about the investigation into his death in federal prison. The NDP in this province want to know why and how many Saskatchewan residents are on a waiting list for addictions treatment. Last week, the opposition asked the question in the legislature, but the government didn't have any numbers available. So far this year, 267 people are suspected to have died of drug overdoses. It's a 13% decrease from the same period last year, but the NDP considers the total to be alarming.
Lori Carr is failing to do her job. Either she won't say how many people are on wait list for life-saving treatment, or she doesn't have a clue.
The government says it is committed to 500 additional treatment beds with 300 already open. Members of the Ukrainian community gathered at the Legislative Building for a service to commemorate Holodomor. This moment of silence was held to recognize the millions who died during the 1932-33 famine in Ukraine. Following the service, wreaths were laid at the Bitter Memories of Childhood Monument in Wascana Park. Now, International Holodomor Day is recognized on the 4th Saturday of November.
This week is Holodomor Memorial Week in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan was the first province in 2008 to recognize the genocide that took place in Ukraine back in 1932-33.
The word itself means extermination by hunger in Ukrainian. The field of policing has seen some major changes in recent years, the recruitment of new officers being one major one. It's an issue that is not exclusive to Saskatchewan police services across Canada. Struggles to find recruits are happening. Saskatoon Police Chief Cam McBride emphasized the growing need for officers in this province.
We're hoping to get 17 positions in that class, and so there's never been a better time to get into policing. There are lots of retirements currently within Saskatoon, and the provincial demand for policing is significant.
That upcoming police class begins in January, and McBride added that he's hopeful to see all 48 spots filled. For the second time in less than a month, Alberta is invoking the notwithstanding clause, this time over 3 transgender laws.
We've said previously that we're prepared to use every single legal and constitutional tool available to protect the well-being of young people. And that's why we'll be invoking the notwithstanding clause.
If passed, it will prevent anyone from challenging the province in court over the next 3 laws. Now, they were passed more than a year ago and affect transgender and gender diverse youth in healthcare, in schools, and in competitive sports. Constitutional court challenges have already been launched against 2 of those laws. Yorkton City Council passed an amendment to its fire bylaw Monday. The amendment sets caps for cost recovery for emergency charges at $5,000 for residential and $50,000 for commercial properties. There is no cap for industrial and agricultural. The mayor said similar caps are in place across the province, and the city has been working on the amendment since the previous council.
But this creates a bit of an insurance for the city so that if there is, a larger scale fire that happens, the additional fees aren't bore by the entire community paying more in taxes, essentially. It actually keeps that a bit lower, and then the person's individual insurance will help cover those additional charges.
The new caps are in effect starting today. The Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant celebrated their 70th anniversary Tuesday. In celebration, a drone shot of the complex, along with a map of the communities that supplies water to, situated on the bottom of the frame. The plant supplies water for over 300,000 residents in Saskatchewan, southern Saskatchewan, with Regina and Moose Jaw being the 2 largest communities.
We'd come over the hill and down into the valley, and it was like, oh, there's Buffalo Pound, and all the fun that we were going to have. But me, as grown up now, the water for my dairy farm, the potable water supply, comes from this location.
We have very high standards for who we hire. So for staff here, you either be a water technologist or a technologist of some background, or a Red Seal trade, so millwrights.
A renewal of the complex is currently underway, and the plant is expected to be running for at least another 25 years. Team Canada has unveiled its new look.
I love pretty much every piece. It's very warm, it's very comfortable, very versatile. We have all kinds of things we can mix and match.
Canada partnered with Lululemon for the uniforms. For the opening ceremony, our athletes will wear the outfit that was quilted wrap vest. On the podium, they will wear a red jacket with a swirl, which is actually a topographical map of Canada. The Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games will be in Milan Cortina. Let's get over to the Weather Center. We're talking about road conditions around North Battleford, Saskatoon. What's going on right now?
Well, we're seeing those road conditions get slightly worse around Saskatoon as, again, we're still seeing some of that light precipitation in the area. Prince Albert also getting some of those flurries this morning and going to continue seeing them into the later parts of this morning and then pushing off into the afternoon. What we're talking about down towards the south, though, is this fog. Visibility is heavily reduced this morning. So really, if you're waking up with us in the central or southern zones, drive carefully out there this morning. Regina waking up to 2 degrees right now. Saskatoon currently at -1 with those very light flurries. This is a look at that radar and satellite, though, so you can see how that system made its way through and into the early hours of this morning here. So definitely seeing some of those flurries continuing on into parts of this morning. Now, as we continue on, though, and we look into the rest of the morning, we start to see that system tracking northeast. It's going to go right over top of Prince Albert there, and then areas around Nipawin going to be seeing the last little piece of that before it exits into northern Manitoba there. Then we start to see some of those clouds clear as well, and we're going to be seeing that sun poking through the clouds into the afternoon. So that's going to be nice to to see once the fog does start to lift down in the south. Then we're looking forward to another system making its way in on Friday. This is at about 11:30 in the morning there. So Prince Albert going to be seeing some of that freezing rain, and then areas north of that city seeing some more of those flurries. Winds today just slightly elevated compared to what we saw yesterday. Not so bad, but again, just a little bit stronger. So areas around Swift Current and Regina could be seeing them up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Other areas to the north seeing winds a little bit calmer this afternoon. Now, Regina today only reaching that high of about 3 degrees, and Saskatoon only expecting to hit 1 degree. So it is a cool day, but compared to that average, it's not so bad. Minus 1.7 is the average for Regina and minus 3.1 in Saskatoon. Last year it was cooler, minus 5.4 for Regina in the afternoon and minus 5.0 in Saskatoon. The record back in the year 1936 for both cities. For Regina, that was 21.1 degrees, and for Saskatoon, that was 20.0. We're going to be seeing that sun going down just before 5:10 p.m. this afternoon. Now, getting a little cooler tomorrow, 2 degrees for Regina, 5 degrees on Friday, and then 5 degrees on Saturday, 4 degrees on Sunday. All these days, we're just expecting to see a nice mix of sun and cloud, and some more flurries on the way for early next work week. In Saskatoon, we're going to be seeing that a little bit earlier, so more flurries on the way for Saturday, and we could be seeing that in the morning hours and pushing off for the afternoon.
Some key earnings coming out today. The one everyone is watching for is NVIDIA. It comes out after the close. Any signs of weakness or numbers not as strong as many analysts and investors expected would likely send the market into a tizzy tomorrow. We will also be hearing from some key consumer companies, including Target, Lowe's, and La-Z-Boy today, Walmart tomorrow. They will be indicators of how Main Street is doing. In Canada, Metro reported today, and the numbers come close to analysts' estimates. And a portrait by the Austrian artist Gustav Klimt was sold for $330 million Canadian in New York on Tuesday, making it the second most expensive piece ever sold at auction. 6 people involved in this auction. It took 20 minutes, that's it. And the portrait is of Elizabeth Lederer. It was painted between 1914 and 1916 and then looted by the Nazis and almost destroyed in a fire in World War II, but was rescued in 1948. Auction house Sotheby's has not disclosed the buyer's identity. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's step into the Your Morning Library and check out The Last Heart Beating, the story of what it's like to be part of one of the royal families of professional wrestling and carry on that legacy. It was penned by our next guest, and there she is through the magic of television. Natty Neidhart, where do you find time to write a book?
You know, that's a great question. I travel a lot, and so I actually did a lot of my writing on airplanes. I would do it in between shows. Of course, you know, in WWE, we travel around the world, so we're always on the go. But, I mean, I think airports, airplanes, delays, that sort of thing, I got a ton of writing done.
Just how hard is it to put something like this together?
I mean, it's, you know, I'm pouring my heart and soul into my work, and I do that not only in the ring, but with this book. It was very challenging because, of course, I had to look back on, you know, 2 decades of me competing in the ring and really look back on my entire life and my family's life and all the different contributions that we've made towards professional wrestling, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So it was definitely a labor of love, for sure.
Who is your favorite Hart family wrestler? I know that's a hard question to answer.
That is a loaded question. But I mean, you know, I'm always going to be biased because I think that Bret Hart is arguably the greatest professional wrestler that's ever lived. And of course, you know, I'm related to him. He's my uncle. He's my mom's brother. And he's somebody that, yes, he's blood related to me. I'm very close to him, but he's also one of my best friends. But I mean, Bret's just been such a great support system. He wrote one of the greatest professional wrestling books ever called Hitman. And it's, you know, he was a huge inspiration for me, and he gave me so much great advice in writing this book, but he's also one of the greatest of all time. So I would go with Bret.
When people thumb through the pages of this book, what do you want people to take away from it?
I think the biggest takeaway that I'm getting, and, you know, especially when I was writing it, is that it's a book about so many different things. There's several different stories, but it's a lot about perseverance. It's a lot about finding yourself. It's about finding your voice, believing in yourself, and staying true to who you are. But, you know, we explore so many different areas in the book. There's a lot of comedy, there's drama, there's tragedy, there's a love story in the book. But at the end of it, what I'm so proud of is that for me, coming from such a legendary family, being the first female in my family to compete in the ring, you know, in a family that's pretty much done everything. You think about my grandfather, Stu Hart, and my uncles, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, the British Bulldogs, my father, who was a WWE Hall of Famer, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. In a family of men that have really done everything that you can do in professional wrestling, I am the woman in the family that did this, and the one that was the least likely to make it. And I'm still standing and still doing what I love and still carrying on our family's legacy. And throughout the years, I was able to persevere through all these ups and downs and really find my voice.
We don't want to give anything away because we want people to buy this for Christmas, put it under the tree. But if there was one thing I would hope for in this book as a fan of yours and your family's, I want dungeon stories. Are they in there?
Yes, many. I mean, there's some really, really great stories. It's very revealing, the book, and it's been described as, you know, when we talk about some of these characters in the book, it's gripping. It's gripping, it's very revealing, but it's not exploitive. And that was a really big thing when I was writing the book. I wanted to make sure that every single character that I wrote about in the book, I could be proud to give them a copy of the book. And we address some really tough topics, but you can't see the stars without darkness. You have to focus on all these different areas. And that's what I love about the book, is that when you're done reading this book, you're going to feel so good about yourself.
You can find The Last Heart Beating wherever books are sold.
The last time the Saskatchewan Huskies won the Vanier Cup was in 1998, nearly 30 years ago. In fact, their current head coach, Scott Flory, was actually on the team, and we found some rare footage of him back in his college playing days. And here's him doing an interview about being drafted into the CFL. That's right, Facebook did not exist, and the Vanier Cup was played at Skydome. Anyways, that year, the Huskies made it to the championship to face the Concordia Stingers. The game was a seesaw battle full of great plays and a couple of almost highlights. The deciding play came in the fourth quarter when the Huskies recovered a fumble in the end zone to score a touchdown with just over 2 minutes left. After that, they would watch the seconds tick down en route to a 24-17 win and their third Vanier Cup title. It was a magical season for the Huskies, who celebrated being #1 in the country. Scott Flory would go on to play in the CFL and later become the Huskies' current head coach.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Woodfinish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
It's November 19th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated birthday wish going out to Chloe, who turned 4 years old yesterday. Chloe, your mom and dad sent in this photo to wish you a great year ahead. Happy birthday. A big happy birthday also going out to Brett today. We hope your day is filled with fun and lots of love from your mom, dad, and Ryan. Enjoy. And finally, we didn't get a name for this birthday boy, but his daughters wrote in and said happy birthday to their dad today and said that they love him and hope he has a great day. And we hope so too. Enjoy. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. You can send those in with a photo, a name, tell us what you're celebrating, and make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
Big night in country music, Brandon.
Huge night, my man. Of course, it'll air 7 o'clock tonight on CTV 2, and you can also view it afterwards on Crave all the way into the weekend. I'm looking for CMA Entertainer of the Year winner. I think tonight, Daryl, it's going to be Lainey Wilson, who's also hosting. First time as a solo host. First time in 32 years. The last one to do that was Reba, so she's going to knock it out of the park. I think because she's got all this momentum coming, and she's going to be the host, she's walking with Entertainer of the Year. So if she wins Entertainer of the Year, Daryl, I want to know, first of all, who you pick, and I want to do a little bet.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have to pick somebody else, so I'll pick Luke Combs, and we'll see what Shannon Ella has to say at 8:15 this morning. We'll see if she agrees with you or I.
Okay, sounds good. I like that a lot. Also, speaking of artists, I want you to go to Dean Brody, Boots on the Beach, the next cue to call coming up at 7 o'clock. If you hear your name, call me back first, and you're in to win that awesome prize.
All right, if you lose, you got to take that guitar that's near you somewhere, and you got to make me a song for first thing tomorrow morning. See ya.
Sounds good. If I win, you got to, at the top of every hour tomorrow, profess your love. Bye. To me. Bye.
Oh, deep.
Kristen Stewart makes her feature directorial debut with The Chronology of Water. Imogen Poots stars as a swimmer turned writer, dealing with childhood trauma and addiction. The first trailer for the film is out now. The Chronology of Water opens in New York and Los Angeles for Oscars consideration December 5th and in wide release January 9th.
You become obsessed with it until it overtakes you and takes possession of you.
Jeremy Strong is taking on a tale of obsession, hatred, and revenge. He's set to star in The Boys from Brazil, a Netflix limited series based on the Ira Levin novel. Strong will play Holocaust survivor and Nazi hunter Yakov Lieberman. Daniel Bruhl also stars in the drama about bringing Nazi fugitives to justice, as does Gillian Anderson. Filming is set to begin next month. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And
All right, JD, what do you got for us this morning?
Oh, we got Slinkies, a classic toy to be sure. But did you know they do more than just slink?
This has got to be edited, right?
Walk downstairs, right? Alone or in pairs. Also, when in the hands of slinky masters, things go crazy. This viral video's garnered over 57 million views. I don't understand how this is being done.
As it should.
I think it sped up, potentially.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That could be legit.
Yeah, well,
that's hard to say.
Man.
Well, now I have to investigate this video.
AI these days. New Yorkers are celebrating the holidays in a very unique way. Take a look.
It was fascination.
Holiday nostalgia train hit the tracks in New York. It's a vintage subway car from the 30s, and you dress up and you act appropriately.
Oh, I like this. I like this idea. I wish we did this here.
Do you want to choose to take the train in downtown Regina?
I mean, maybe if it was like this.
Bring back the streetcars. Time out. We're back in just a minute.
Yeah.
Fascination. I know.
Welcome to Wednesday, November 19th. Prime Minister Mark Carney is on his way to Abu Dhabi for trade talks. He's the first Canadian Prime Minister to visit the United Arab Emirates since 1983.
I don't believe that we've had enough jobs created and industrial benefits done out of the F-35.
Sweden is making its pitch for new fighter jets and Canadian jobs, as the offer has Ottawa intrigued.
It's so exciting. The whole kit is so beautiful.
From the opening ceremony to the podium, Team Canada has a brand new look for the upcoming Olympic and Paralympic Games. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're watching curled up somewhere warm because it's cold outside.
You were probably cold watching the Grey Cup parade, but you didn't get rained on yesterday. Great turnout.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of pictures and the riders looked happy.
I didn't go anywhere near that zoo. I knew it was going to be busy. This morning, Saskatoon's waking up to all kinds of snow, Kayleen.
Yeah, snow, and it's going to continue on. Just a little bit of flakes, more so over in Prince Albert this morning, and then pushing away, but the roads this morning, ooh, drive careful.
Yeah, we are tracking our plows as we go on throughout the morning, Kayleen. More and more snow covered. That's that pink line in the screen.
Yeah, and that's actually been descending down towards the south there, where we're also seeing some of that fog to wake us up.
Oh, Mike and Jeremy can keep it. Let's get to your news. We'll come back to you for your weather in just a minute. Sweden's royal family will start day 2 of their Canadian visit today. On the first day in Canada, King Carl Gustaf XVI, great name by the way, and Queen Silva were welcomed at Rideau Hall. They also met with the Prime Minister Mark Carney before taking part in a state dinner. The royals also brought along a delegation to pitch their Gripen fighter jet.
It would mean Canadian jobs in Canada. It would be a Swedish fighter jet, world class, but it would be a true partnership.
Sweden is selling its Gripen to Canada as the ideal fighter jet for Arctic defense. Its maker, Saab, also says the deal to buy the jets could bring as many as 10,000 jobs to Canada. Our country currently has a deal to buy F-35 fighter jets from the U.S. Officials in Canada and Sweden are suggesting there is room for both jets in our fleet. Hoping to attract new investments, Prime Minister Mark Carney is en route to United Arab Emirates and South Africa. It's Carney's first official visit to both countries since becoming PM, and senior government officials say the trip is to deepen partnerships that attract capital to Canada. His first stop is Abu Dhabi for meetings with government and business officials. Federal workers still waiting for word on which jobs will be cut as a result of the new budget. The union representing thousands of public servants says they should hear soon.
We haven't heard any new information. The budget just passed. We expect that our members would be notified by their managers shortly.
The government plans to reduce the size of the public service federally by 28,000 jobs by 2029. It's part of the budget's plan to find $60 billion in savings over the next 5 years. As part of the comprehensive expenditure review, the government will reduce 16,000 full-time equivalent positions, including 650 executive spots. Another 12,000 positions will be eliminated through attrition and early retirement packages. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon said he believes the impact on people with involuntary departures will be minimal. This year's Grey Cup champions took to the streets of Regina for their parade yesterday.
This is unbelievable.
It's been a long time coming.
Saskatchewan people are the most proudest people in the country, and I think it'll just bring us all together.
It's a moment not seen in Riderville since 2013. Thousands lined the streets hoping to catch a glimpse of the team and the trophy. The Riders beat the Alouettes 25-17 in Sunday's Grey Cup. The victory marks the franchise's 5th ever victory. There was a special presentation inside the Legislative Building to Rider quarterback and Grey Cup MVP Trevor Harris. As Wayne Mantika tells us, he was presented with a very special gift.
Oh, yeah? The gift caught Trevor Harris by surprise.
Oh, my goodness. That is incredible. I got the chills.
The Rider quarterback was presented with an oil painting that captured Sunday night's moment of victory.
Thank you. That is really neat. Thank you so much.
The painting was by Regina artist Belinda Creek, who worked to meet a tight deadline.
You know, I think that's quintessential, one of the best moments that you want to capture as an artist.
The presentation was part of the Riders' visit to the Premier's office at the Legislative Building. They had fun sitting around the cabinet table and trying on the Speaker's hat. The team appreciated how the government rolled out the red carpet.
And having us in this building, you know, it just talked about the volumes of what this meant for this province. You know, I think it goes a long way of saying that, you know, everybody supported us.
Harris expressed gratitude for the gift that he received.
They presented a painting to me upstairs that was absolutely unbelievable, and I'm just kind of just mesmerized by everything that's going on.
The Rider quarterback is making plans on where he will display the painting, but thinks it would look awesome in his basement. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
That is cool.
All right, well, a total of 5 people have been charged in connection with the Saskatoon homicide last year. Jeremy Dodge has been following this for us and joins us now live. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Daryl. It was December 18th, 2024. Saskatoon police executing a search warrant at a house in the 1700 block of 22nd Street West. And they arrived to find a person dead. His identity was not made public. But on November 14th and 17th of this year, Saskatoon police arrested and charged 22-year-old Emery Aubuchon and 45-year-old Vernon Pequaquat for first-degree murder, offering an indignity to human remains, and unlawful confinement. 41-year-old Donovan Lemstra arrested in Calgary earlier this month and brought back to Saskatoon. 40-year-old Michael Landry and 27-year-old Michael McCallum also arrested in Saskatoon. All 5 accused are facing those same charges. The Saskatoon YMCA is preparing for some major changes as it transitions out of the current downtown Saskatoon building. The YMCA working to address the socioeconomic challenges being faced across Canada. The national president of the organization was in Saskatoon, sharing his national perspective as part of a cross-country tour, moving out of the current building in the coming year and potentially taking over the Harry Bailey Aquatic Centres being discussed, as well as the potential to run the city's future leisure centre in Homewood in about 3 years.
It's really a call to action, I would say, to see how we can work with other organizations, other levels of government to come together and deal with issues like loneliness and isolation and mental health and things of that nature.
The YMCA of Saskatoon is really at a transformational moment. It's at a crossroads to decide what its future is going to be. And so
the national CEO is heading to Regina today for an event in the Queen City. Well, Daryl, a new study showing a change in Canadian eating habits.
Jeremy, it was done by Dalhousie's Agri-Food Analytics Lab, finding weight loss drugs are changing the way Canadians eat and shop for food.
These numbers are incredibly scary for the food industry. You have to understand that a lot of companies have based their business models on impulse buying.
The study surveyed more than 8,000 Canadians. Nearly 47% say they use Ozempic solely for type 2 diabetes, while 35% say they use it for weight loss alone. And with the arrival of similar drugs like Wegovy, experts are worried food, eating, and shopping trends will continue to be affected. The study found nearly 19% of people are buying fewer groceries, 15% are cutting back on fresh meat, and a little more than 12% are buying fewer fruits and vegetables. The RCMP will be joining the U.S. Justice Department and FBI for a major news conference in Washington today related to the investigation into an international criminal organization allegedly headed by former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding. 2 truck drivers who were among 10 Canadians arrested following an FBI investigation have reportedly agreed to plead guilty to drug trafficking charges in the U.S. Many other members of the multinational billion-dollar drug empire have been apprehended, but allegedly boss Ryan Wedding remains at large and is on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. He's wanted on a number of drug, murder, and conspiracy to commit murder charges. A test of the Alert Ready system will have phones blaring across the country today. We won't play the sound for you, but you know it's annoying. Alerts will be issued at specific times in each province and territory. That will include information about the test. They will also be broadcast on TV, radio, and other wireless devices connected to the internet. Government agencies can use the system to warn people about situations that present a threat to life, such as extreme weather or terrorist attacks. A third-period collapse extended the Moose Jaw Warriors' winless skid to 3.
Jacobson moving it to the middle. Wrist shot off a shin pad. Brzezinski scores.
Grayson Brzezinski had a pair of goals, including the game winner. The Brandon Wheat Kings scored 3 goals in the third period to beat the Warriors 6-4. The Pats are the lone Saskatchewan team in action tonight. They are in Spokane. Those highway conditions continue to be affected out there, and you can barely see behind you, Kayleen.
Yeah, we are seeing reduced visibility in a lot of places this morning, not just because of the fog down towards the south, but that snow that we saw overnight in all those areas in the central zone there. So if you're traveling around North Battleford this morning, down through Saskatoon, also areas surrounding Shellbrook, all those areas covered with snow and freezing rain from that system that made its way through last night. Definitely take your time out there this morning. In Regina, with that fog right now, we're waking up to 2 degrees. When that fog begins to clear, we're still going to be seeing those clouds, so we're not going to be seeing a lot of sunshine until the afternoon hours. Right now, the winds are coming in at 11 kilometers per hour in Regina and 7 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon, where we're still seeing the effects of that system from overnight that brought all that snow, and we're at -1 to wake us up. Now let's take a look at that radar and satellite. We can see how that system made its way through. It was tracking northeast, still seeing a little bit of it this morning. This is current right now, and then we're going to watch as that pushes away from Prince Albert up through Nipawin and then pushes into northern Manitoba into the early parts of the afternoon. So it's not going to be affecting the rest of your day, just the morning. And then we're going to be seeing those clouds clear as well. So it'll be nice to see a little bit of sunshine after we saw so much gray yesterday throughout the province. We're not really talking about more precipitation moving in until Friday morning. Then we're going to be seeing some flurries up towards the north and some freezing rain around Prince Albert there. Current temperatures now, we're seeing -2 in Spiritwood, -1 in Melfort, -1 in Hudson Bay, and -3 to wake us up in Nipawin, -1 down in East End. Some positive temperatures, though, on the board. So Assiniboia and Moose Jaw both waking up to 4 degrees right now, and 2 degrees for Estevan, sharing that temperature with Regina. Later on this afternoon, we are seeing temperatures either right around or slightly above that seasonal average. 2 degrees for Swift Current, 4 degrees for Weyburn, 5 degrees with that fog for Estevan, and then 2 degrees for Yorkton. The areas that are seeing the worst fog right now are Regina, Yorkton, and Estevan. So again, although you haven't seen that snow overnight, reduced visibility out on those roads for your morning commute. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast, though. So 3 degrees is the high for Regina today, 2 degrees on Thursday, 5 degrees on Friday, 5 degrees on Saturday, and 4 degrees on Sunday, with some more flurries moving in for Monday and Tuesday. 2 degrees on Monday with that snowfall, and then -5 on Tuesday. As we look at Saskatoon, 1 degree today, -2 on Thursday, 0 degrees on Friday, up slightly to 3 degrees on Saturday. You do see that snowfall icon on your screen. However, we're just bringing that into conversation in the morning hours and then pushing away for the afternoon. It's not going to be impacting you all day like we are expecting it to on Monday, and then continuing on into Tuesday as we see those temperatures drop down to about -6. We're taking a look at this rural forecast now. Some fog and flurries out there this morning and into this afternoon. Spiritwood up to 1 degree. Watrous with a mix of sun and cloud up to 1 degree. And Wynyard sharing that temperature of 1 degree with that fog. Down towards the south, East End Cypress up to 2 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Some more fog in Rockglen up to 3 degrees. And Carlisle with those clouds up to about 4 degrees today. So just above the seasonal average across the board here, but only slightly. Let's take a look at those internet plans now. Available from SaskTel up to 1 gig. 0 degrees, though, in Cutknife this afternoon. Mainly sunny skies once we see those clouds clearing into the afternoon, and west winds coming in between 20 to 30 kilometers per hour.
Let's head back out now to find Mike Siona, who is getting us into the Christmas spirit this morning. Mike.
I'll tell you what, it is all Christmas spirit here at Dutch Growers. And tomorrow is going to be a big, big day because, well, Jill Van Dijvendyk, who joins us now, is talking about the Christmas open house here. What's the details?
Well, it's time to get inspired. So you come into the store, just imagine you have the smells and sights of Christmas. We'll have carolers here from 11 till 1. Alpacas will be here with little reindeer ears on, so if you want to get a festive picture, you can do that. Bring your food bank items in. We'll be collecting items for the food bank. We'll have a craft going on throughout the day, so from 11 till 1 we'll have that going on, and it's just an evening to be inspired, try some gourmet samplings and pick up some Christmas items and get going on Christmas.
I love it. Now we are getting going here. I know that this is one of the things that you guys do a ton of is arrangements and centerpieces, and it really is pretty simple to do.
Very simple to do. Now we have our live greens have arrived. These are freshly foraged from out in BC by the island. They're so fresh. plush. We have beautiful cedar. I love the fragrance and the way that this just drapes. Now, the key to success when you're building your arrangement is just to have a lot of different textures. So don't just go out and buy one cedar. Get a mixture. Get the cedar, get the nice silver fir. I like this one because it's got almost 2 tones to it. You have the Douglas fir, which is the nice green, a little bit softer feel. And then my favorite, but it's very sticky, is your pine. The white pine just adds some great elegance to your arrangement.
I love that. And we've kind of started on one here, and as the morning continues, we'll finish this up, but it really is just this foam block, and then
we start building, and we'll start putting things together. So we just sort of take the stems, trim them off with our handy pruners, and just sort of stick them into our floral foam and just work around the arrangement, and you can get the smell right into your home.
I absolutely love it. And the best part about this is there's no wrong way to do this. There are better ways and there are my ways. But we'll stick with the better ways and the approved methodology here. And hopefully we'll get this finished up for you this morning.
Don't sell yourself short, Mike. I've seen some of your creative works. I look forward to checking one out in just a little bit.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we're going to the pitch. It's World Cup qualifying. Scotland, Denmark, 3 minutes in. Loose ball finds Scott McTominay, and he delivers on a brilliant bicycle kick. How about that? His second goal of the qualifying round. Scotland would go on to win a thriller, punching their ticket to the World Cup for the first time in 28 years. McTominay earns the must-see moment. Tonight on TSN, we got Tangerine Raptors basketball. They're taking on the 76ers. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern across the TSN network. That's all for now, everyone. Have a great day.
Well, in case you missed it, officials in central Japan have come up with an innovative way to keep bears away. Yeah, it looks ridiculous, right? They're using a drone with firecrackers and a megaphone on it to sound like a barking dog. I don't think the Rangers going to like this, Yogi.
I don't like this. I think this would stress out the Bears.
Probably. Well,
I think that's the point, right?
Well, bears like this orchard because apparently it has peaches and apples, and 220 people have been hurt in bear attacks in Japan. Okay. So they're going to these lengths at this point.
All right. Oof. So with the context that they've been hurting people, I will agree with this. But other than that, I don't want bears stressed out.
I think we should just do this at Craven, like Country Thunder. You send drones
just
through
to
the
stress out the people at
Craven. Send drones through the campgrounds, barking at people.
You have interesting thoughts in your mind.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
Whatever. Question of the day. We're talking about something that could always change your mood. Apparently mine doesn't agree with you guys.
This question, you guys, this question has lifted my heart this morning. We have so many answers that have flooded into our inbox. Thank you, everybody. Some people agreeing with me. Seeing that first snowfall of the year, there's something magical about it. We had Marcella.
You get on the roads.
Yeah, until you get on the roads.
I'm about 12 Hallmark movies deep at this point, so it's all good by me.
Me too, also. Marcella also saying when I can get in a run always makes me feel better. Also, yes, I want that snow too. Would put me in the Christmas spirit. Bailey saying soup, so many different kinds, and it's always comforting. I can get behind that one. I love a good soup to warm the soul. Richie Roy saying watching a sitcom that is a rerun, preferably The Office. Nothing heals the soul like jokes you've already heard. I can get behind that one as well. Kelly saying a big hug for my granddaughter always makes my day, and I know this one is true because Kelly is my father-in-law. So thank you for writing in, Kelly. Good morning.
Nice.
Denise also saying grandchildren make my day shine when it's gloomy every time. We also had an answer saying some catchy music. Sheena agreeing with that one. Music changes the mood instantly. There's something powerful with that, right? And Nathan saying Costco hot dogs. They're just too good.
Hey!
Proximity, baby. We're across the street from that one.
Sir.
Couldn't even get in all the answers this hour that we got. Thank you so much. We're going to switch these answers around, share some more later on in the show. You still have time to get your answer in, though. Text me. 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code on your screen. Give me about 1 hour, and we'll share some more answers to turn your day around.
It is time for our morning mystery. 3 clues to try to get it right. We've got our whiteboards ready. Today it is a game.
Oh.
The original game was created by Elizabeth and Maggie around 1903.
Okay.
It's been around for a while. It's sold in 114 countries and available in 47 different languages. And here's the usual obvious giveaway, and producer Nathan writes, so everyone gets it. A player goes to jail at least once about every 15 turns. Okay.
I can just hear producer Nathan just getting so mad upstairs right now.
I was going clue up until the final clue, if you will, and the reveal.
I didn't know it until, but
Monopoly. It is National Play Monopoly game. So dig out the board and have a fight with your family. That's your morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Let's take a look at this school day forecast now. It's brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep your school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we are waking up to that fog, 2 degrees, and some south winds coming in between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -1 right now. We're still seeing the last effects of that system that made its way through overnight with just a little bit of those flurries. By lunchtime in Regina, 3 degrees. That is the expected daytime high. Lunchtime in Saskatoon, also sitting at that expected daytime high, 1 degree. So it's not going to be all too warm really across the province today. Final bell sitting at 2 degrees, so dropping down slightly in Regina, and by final bell in Saskatoon sitting at 0 degrees, just a little bit more of that sunshine poking through those clouds. As we get a break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price this morning, 124.9. The lowest you might find though is 109.9. In Saskatoon, the common price this morning, 121.9. The lowest you might find, 117.9. Now turning our attention over to these farm markets. The street price of canola at $595.02 this morning. Futures price $655.10 per ton. Amber Durum wheat this morning $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat $253.70 per ton. And the Canadian dollar beginning the day trading up at 71.44 cents US. We're back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome to your morning. Let's get to your headlines. The NDP want to know how many Saskatchewan residents are on a waiting list for addictions treatment. Last week, the opposition asked the question in the legislature. Government didn't have the answer ready. So far this year, they say 267 people are suspected to have died of an overdose. It's a 13% decrease from the same period a year ago, but the NDP says the number is still alarming.
Lori Carr is failing to do her job. Either she won't say how many people are on wait lists for life-saving treatment, or she doesn't have a clue.
The government says it is committed to 500 additional treatment beds, with 300 already open. After months of delays and pushback, the Jeffrey Epstein case files could soon be fully public.
Victimized as children and fail repeatedly by the very system that was supposed to protect us.
Survivors gathered at the Capitol to speak out as both the U.S. House and Senate approved a bill to force the Justice Department to publicly release the files on the late convicted sex offender. It comes after months of opposition from the U.S. President and Republican leadership. Donald Trump now claims he will sign the bill. The bill forces the release within 30 days of all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any information about the investigation into his death in federal prison. Canada Post's CFO says the corporation is now effectively insolvent, with losses topping $1 billion this year. Canada Post expects to lose up to another 30,000 employees to retirement or voluntary departure over the next decade as it tries to get costs under control. It plans to use attrition first to downsize from the roughly 62,000 people it employs at the end of last year. Now, Canada Post has struggled recently with labor disputes and a steady decline in letter mail. A 66-year-old man serving time at the Regina Correctional Center died over the weekend. On October 27th, the inmate was transferred to the Pasqua Hospital in Regina because of a pre-existing health condition and died on November 15th in hospital. The Saskatchewan Coroner Service is investigating, although foul play is not suspected. Pontiac's RCMP investigating an incident where a cow was shot to death. Happened around 7:45 in the evening on November 4th. Officers responded to a report of a cow being shot on a rural property. Earlier this year, on July 7th, something similar happened on a different property in the community. There is no indication these are connected, but if you do have information, you're asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. The Saskatoon Police Service is looking for officers. The city's top cop says the force is seeing fewer applications compared to years ago. As Hallie Mandrick reports, the challenge isn't the issue being seen in Saskatoon.
Officers wanted. That's the message Chief Cam McBride is sending as his service is seeing fewer people apply for what was once a sought-after position.
We used to get literally hundreds and hundreds of applicants every year, and that number has dwindled down.
It's an issue that's not exclusive to Saskatchewan. Police services across the country are struggling to find recruits.
Police recruitment right across Canada has become challenging. In many cases, they're recycling the same applicants over and over again, hoping to get some new ones, and they do, and they still hire wonderful people, but it's become a huge challenge.
Lewis says a number of factors contribute to this declining interest in the profession, including more appealing jobs elsewhere and growing criticism of police on social media. This also comes at a time when a significant number of positions need to be filled.
There's a couple of issues right now. And one is many police departments hired a lot of people in certain decades that have resulted in a lot of people being eligible for retirement now. So the demand may be greater, and then there's less applicants.
McBride says that issue is certainly felt by SPS, adding that the service is hopeful to be able to send some new recruits to police college in the new year.
We're hoping to get 17 positions in that class, and so there's never been a better time to get into policing. There are lots of retirements currently within Saskatoon, and the provincial demand for policing is significant.
The Saskatchewan Police College operates out of the University of Regina with 48 seats available in its upcoming January class, which will be divided up between jurisdictions. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon content creator says her business has taken a major hit after Facebook suddenly shut down her page. Ashlyn George, who you may know from the Lost Girls Guide to Finding the World, turning her adventure and travel into a full-time business. Well, her Facebook page had 22,000 followers and was recently suspended without warning. Meta apparently flagged the account for impersonation, but she says she wasn't impersonating anyone and was never really given a chance to appeal.
So this is affecting 3 different revenue streams where I do earn money, and to have it down for a month, especially in Q4, this is the busiest time of year, it's going to be a major impact on my business.
Her account is now on hold until at least October 4th. Meta could not be reached for comment. A local business in Regina is fundraising for the Royal Canadian Legion after his restaurant was robbed earlier this month. Tim Phillip, owner of Dad's Diner, says a small break-in led to the store's poppy box being stolen. In hopes of turning a bad situation around, Phillip decided to put on a fundraiser to replace the lost funds. Now, for every cinnamon bun sold at his store, the small business will donate $1 back to the Royal Canadian Legion.
We lost a cell phone and we lost a sound system for the restaurant, but those are pretty minor. That was something I can easily replace, but it was something we found that the poppy box was something we could actually do something about and make a difference.
The Legion says the Poppy campaign is their biggest fundraiser of the year, which helps the branch fund every charitable event they host. A fundraiser at Dad's Diner will be happening until the 30th. Scientists have long known wolves are highly social and intelligent, but new evidence captured on camera is being described as jaw-dropping. Would you believe that the one wolf has figured out how to use a tool invented by humans? Here's Sinjin Alexander.
That's not a dog playing fetch, but a wolf with a buoy in its mouth. She wasn't trained to do this, but somehow knew her effort would pay off.
We always have known that, how smart and how intelligent, wolves are.
The images were captured by researchers who've been trying to learn even more about the animals, in particular in the Haitsook Nation. They were also trying to solve a mystery, why so many crab traps were being damaged. So they set up cameras and audio recorders.
And we thought, maybe we'd see a seal going by or we'd see a mink going by, and we might get a bit of a hint as to what's doing this.
There were clues. Buoys were munched up like chew toys. But it couldn't be a bear, couldn't be a wolf, because the traps were set way out in deep water. Yet the eye of the camera told a different story.
Wow. Yes. We weren't anticipating seeing this.
After getting out of the water, a quick shake to dry off, somehow the wolf knew to reach down, get hold of the line, and reel in the trap. She also knew all of it had to come in, because the goodies, that's the bait, were in the orange cup.
It's not surprising that they're able to figure something like this out. Like, they are just so intelligent. They are so much like us. There's a lot of familiarity there.
So far, researchers don't believe the wolf was after some crab and was quite satisfied by the snack in the bait cup. However, she may surprise them yet. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, it doesn't look like any snow on the ground where he is in Vancouver, but we've got road conditions, we've got snow. Kayleen, what's going on out there?
Yeah, well, we are seeing some covered roads in areas surrounding Saskatoon up through Prince Albert, and then, of course, over near North Battleford as well, where we saw that snow overnight and into the early parts of this morning. Still seeing the last little effects of that system as well. It's not quite fully out of the province. Later on in the morning and into the early afternoon, that's when we're going to see things really clear up throughout the central zone. But for this morning, we're also talking about that fog down towards the south. So Regina, as you can see, not much of a morning view this morning. We're at 2 degrees to wake us up with that fog. And in Saskatoon, waking up to a temperature of -1 right now. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite and how that system moved through the province yesterday. So areas down through Swift Current, and of course some areas in Regina getting a little bit of that precipitation, but most of it falling in the form of snow in and around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and then up through Nipawin later on into the later parts of this morning as we start to see that enter into northern Manitoba. So things are going to be clearing up. The clouds going to be clearing into the afternoon. We are going to be seeing some of that sunshine. We just have to be a little bit patient. And then we're talking about Thursday, where we're not seeing a lot in terms of that precipitation or the cloud cover. More clouds moving in for Friday, and this system moving into the central and northern zone, bringing some more flurries, rain, and freezing rain along with it. Now, if you're wondering just how typical these temperatures are that we're seeing, well, here's a look at this almanac here. So Regina today expecting that high of 3 degrees. We're going to be seeing it a little bit earlier on in the afternoon, around noon. 1 degree for Saskatoon as the high. The average for this time of year in Regina is about -1.7, and in Saskatoon it's -3.1. So we are above that seasonal average. Last year it was cooler, -5.4 for Regina and -5 exactly for Saskatoon. And the record for both cities back in the year 1936. 21.1 degrees for Regina and 20.0 degrees for Saskatoon. Today's forecast, not even touching those records, not even close. 2 degrees for Swift Current today. Weyburn up to 4, Estevan up to 5 degrees, and Yorkton up to 2 degrees. We just really have to work to get rid of that fog that we're seeing this morning. And when we're looking towards the weekend, we see temperatures still above that seasonal average. 5 degrees on Saturday, 4 degrees on Sunday, and then some more flurries coming on the way for our next work week. In Regina, Monday and Tuesday. And in Saskatoon, we could be seeing it a little bit earlier on into the weekend. Saturday morning, we're expecting to see some very light flurries and then pushing away for the afternoon. Monday and Tuesday, they could be a little bit more consistent throughout that afternoon. And on Tuesday, we're seeing temperatures drop down to about -6.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
Here's what's happening in our community. Christmas in November, specifically on September 22nd. It's a Saturday, starts at 10 a.m. 125 3rd Avenue North in Yorkton. There's a bake sale and raffle involved. 16th Annual Lions Craft Sale, Sunday, November 23rd, starts at 11 a.m. This is happening at the Boreen Community Center out in Esterhazy. Pierogi and Meatballs Fall Supper happens Sunday, November 23rd at 5 p.m. out in Sturgis at the Grace United Church. Call 306-547-7068. If you'd like your event shown here, simple. All you got to do is email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, at least 2 weeks in advance.
A beloved beloved Christmas tale is set to come to life on stage at the Globe Theatre. A Christmas Carol opens November 28th, and here to tell us all about the show is two members of the cast, Alden and Katie. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. So as I just mentioned, this is a beloved story. You can really ask anybody. Katie, I want to come over to you first. What is it like trying to bring this to life on the stage?
It's so exciting, especially for me. I'm born and raised in Regina. I'm coming back to Regina in the holidays. A lot of our cast is also from Regina. We all have these like beautiful connections. So it is sort of like a family reunion in a sense in the rehearsal hall. It's also exciting to put our own spin on a classic. So I'm excited for audiences to come in. They know the story, but we're gonna, you know, do something new and like shake it up a little bit. So I'm excited to show everybody.
I'm excited to hear how we're going to shake it up a little bit. Okay, Alden, I'm going to come over to you. We just heard we have a stellar cast, very connected. But what really sells it is when you put it all together with the costumes and the makeup and the set. What's that been like?
That's been a wonderful process. Roger Schultz, who's the costume and set designer, is an amazing artist. They're building something like 50 costumes, which is quite big. Yeah. It's a big show. We're using the whole theater in terms of all the play space, so there's a lot of elements that are going up and around you as you're in the Christmas Carol. And the costumes look gorgeous, like they're Victorian pieces that you have on.
Yeah.
I play a lot of the ghosts in the show, so I have really crazy and wonderful, colorful costumes as well. So it's been so much fun to put those characters on and explore this world. It's been a joy. Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that. Katie, coming back to you, the show hasn't even opened yet, as I just mentioned, November 28th, so anticipation is high, but the show has already been extended. How does that feel?
It feels great. It's really exciting, like, to have the community so excited for a show that we haven't even shown anyone yet. So I've already had people from like that I went to high school with. They're like, I got my ticket on this day. I'm so excited. So I'm really excited that the community is supporting us and coming out.
And it's a family-friendly show, I would presume.
Absolutely. That's the thing about this show. You can come in, you sort of know it. You know, like you said, it's a beloved story, but there's something for everybody. The message, the story, there's going to be comedy, the costumes, the set. There's really something for everybody in your family to come to the theater and enjoy.
All right, Alden, tell us how we can get tickets, because we know demand is high.
GlobeTheaterLive.com. GlobeTheaterLive.com.
All right, I'll say it one more time. GlobeTheaterLive.com. Demand is high. Head on over to the website and grab your tickets and catch this beloved Christmas tale on the stage.
Here's what's happening in our community. A Christmas decor and bake sale November 20th and 21st at 9:30 a.m. at the Balcarres Golden Age Center in Balcarres. Quilts and More sale happening November 21st and 22nd at 10 a.m. This is happening at Holy Family Church, 1021 McCarthy Boulevard North. And a concert out in Sturgis at the Community Hall Friday, November 21st. Starts at 7:30 p.m. For more information, call 306-547-7068. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, ReginaCommunity@bellmedia.ca, at least 2 weeks in advance.
It's November 19th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated birthday wish going out to Chloe, who turned 4 years old yesterday. Chloe, your mom and dad sent in this photo to wish you a great year ahead. Happy birthday. A big happy birthday also going out to Brett today. We hope your day is filled with fun and a lot of love from your mom, dad, and Ryan. Enjoy. And finally, we didn't get a name for this birthday boy, but his daughters wrote in to say happy birthday to their dad today. They said they love him and they hope he has a great day, and we hope so too. Enjoy. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to Your Morning Saskatchewan at CTV.ca, or you can simply scan that QR code on your screen right now, but please make sure you send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Some key earnings coming out today. The one everyone is watching for is NVIDIA. It comes out after the close. Any signs of weakness or numbers not as strong as many analysts and investors expected will likely send the market into a tizzy tomorrow. We will also be hearing from some key consumer companies, including Target, Lowe's, and La-Z-Boy today, Walmart tomorrow. They will be indicators of how Main Street is doing. In Canada, Metro reported today, and the numbers come close to analysts' estimates. And a portrait by the Austrian artist Gustav Klimt was sold for $330 million Canadian in New York on Tuesday, making it the second most expensive piece ever sold at auction. 6 people involved in this auction. It took 20 minutes, that's it. And the portrait is of Elizabeth Lederer. It was painted between 1914 and 1916 and then looted by the Nazis and almost destroyed in a fire in World War II, but was rescued in 1948. Auction house Sotheby's has not disclosed the buyer's identity. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Yesterday at my kids' daycare, they just took bubble wrap and they put it on the ground and just let the kids roll around. Can we have this? Like, can you and I do this in the Pure Country studio?
Yeah.
Just roll around?
It's built for many activities around here, man. Let's do it.
Do you still have moon shoes in there?
I do. Moon shoes.
Oh, man.
Yes, we've got random, like, Nerf guns. We can do so many things here. So many fun times.
Kaylee and I wonder why we work here. We should work there. It's so much more fun.
It is. It really is. We do a lot of fun stuff, including the impossible, useless question of the day. Yesterday, I asked you and Kayleen. You guys were so wrong. Maybe you can try and help today. We're playing for pride, not prize, so it's all about my love and admiration if you can get this right. Text 54321 anywhere in the province. Let's see who the smartest listeners are. Here's the question. This can only be seen in the morning or late afternoon. No other time during the days. This can only be seen morning or late afternoon, and it's not Daryl on CTV mornings or on Pure Country afternoons. So what do you got?
Oh, jeez. Okay, Kaylee's shaking her head. She's got nothing.
Good one.
Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise, sunset, right? Like, that's the first one that comes to my mind.
No. Oh. Sunrise, sunset. It's not that either. So thanks, guys.
I'm looking so much forward to your song. That's going to be great.
That's right. 54321. Text me. Let's see if you're smarter than us. It's probably easy.
It's country music's biggest night. The 59th annual CMA Awards will be handed out tonight in Nashville. Luke Combs, who this year became the best-selling country artist of all time, is up for Entertainer, Male Vocalist, and Single of the Year.
It's all very unexpected. I think you can't plan to get to this point, you know, and obviously when I moved here, I just wanted to be able to make a living doing music, whatever that looked like. It's all been a blessing, and I'm very fortunate, and I'm just thankful, man, for the fans. I mean, it's all them.
Lainey Wilson hosts the awards on ABC. Speaking of music, Jeff Tweedy is going on tour next year. The Wilco frontman has announced a series of shows starting in Germantown, Tennessee this week and running through next June.
I thought about starting at the beginning.
Kristen Stewart is trying her hand at directing. The Chronology of Water is now out with its first trailer. Stewart's directorial debut is about a professional swimmer who turns to writing to overcome addiction and past trauma. It's out in limited release next month.
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
But in a good way. And happy birthday to a rom-com queen, Meg Ryan, who starred in When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle, turns 64 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
JD, what do you got for us?
Okay, we get a special look at director Corey's dance moves.
He couldn't dance like that.
Nah, he wishes.
Yeah.
This dancing senior has been seen in bars and parks on the street getting his groove on. But when you're this good, you just got to show it off, right?
We got a guy in town that does a lot of dancing on street corners, too. There's a lot of videos of him as well.
Oh, yeah.
New Yorkers are celebrating the holidays in very unique ways.
It was fascination.
I know. If you're in New York, This is a holiday nostalgia train. It's from the 30s. You dress up in the appropriate attire. You ride along.
I want this fashion back. Those elegant outfits for women with those hats and the men all in the suits.
Stopping you.
Fear or common sense holding you back?
I fear, well, on this show, we get a lot of comments on what we wear. And so if I just started dressing like a woman from the 30s, people would say, Kaylee needs to update her wardrobe.
Not we. They target the women.
That's true.
Completely unfair.
Yeah,
you target my ties every day.
I do. I have to say whether it's a good or bad tie every day. Today's not a good one, folks.
Time out. We're back after this.
Oh, no.
It is Wednesday, November 19th. Prime Minister Mark Carney on his way to Abu Dhabi for trade talks.
I don't believe that we've had enough jobs created and industrial benefits done out of the F-35.
Sweden is making its pitch for new fighter jets and new jobs for Canada, and the offer has Ottawa intrigued.
It's so exciting. The whole kit is so beautiful.
From the opening ceremony to the podium, Team Canada has a brand new look for the upcoming Olympic and Paralympic Games. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
We're smiling, but that's because we don't have any snow down here in Regina. You got all kinds if you're joining us from Saskatoon or specifically North Battleford. And look at the roads continue to deteriorate.
Yeah, although we're not going to be seeing a lot more snow throughout the rest of the parts of the morning. It's going to be pushing away. But for now, drive carefully out there, folks.
On the positive, at least you can track your plow now. That's the coolest little feature on the highway hotline. And I think that we should, in this province, name the plows.
Okay, but also shout out to all of those plow drivers because I think that's one of the most underappreciated drives. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's those jobs that I'm so grateful for, but they go unnoticed. So thank you if you are driving a plow or a tow truck out there this morning.
We gotta name those plows. We gotta make that a thing. Let's get to news. The King and Queen of Sweden in Canada for the second day of a state visit.
Right Honourable Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, Mrs. Diana Fox Carney, Their Majesties King Carl XVI Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden.
All right, well, state dinner, as you see, was held at Rideau Hall last night for the King and Queen. State visit was the first since 2006, aimed at strengthening political and defense and commercial ties between the two countries, bonds that were highlighted by the King during his speech.
I have a very special, as mentioned before, bond to Canada, because my great-grandfather, as you heard, Prince Arthur of Connaught, was the Governor General of Canada from 1911 to 1916.
The campaign for Canada to buy military aircraft from Swedish company Saab is in full force as ads went up in downtown Ottawa yesterday. Jean-Vier Beauchemin reports.
This one, it's a Gripen ES.
On a tarmac in Sweden, Saab showed off the fighter jet it hopes Canada will buy.
So it's really state-of-the-art systems packed in here.
Part of the company's sales pitch is that the Gripen is perfectly suited to protect the Arctic.
What we designed the system for is actually to be able to withstand the extreme max in terms of cold, so -40, -45. We should be able to land on a road full packed with ice, be able to turn around in 10 minutes.
As the battle of the fighter jets revved up, Saab also suggested Gripens could be assembled on Canadian soil, creating, it says, 10,000 manufacturing and research jobs. But some Canadian contractors say a deal with Saab could also cost jobs. L3 Harris in Quebec is aiming to set up a maintenance hub for the F-35.
Here we're talking about preserving the jobs of 1,600 Canadians today, the creation of an additional 5,000 jobs for the F-35.
In 2023, Canada agreed to buy 16 stealth fighters built by U.S.-based Lockheed Martin, with an option to scale up to 88. But Ottawa is reviewing the deal in the middle of a trade war. Industry Minister Mélanie Joly said today Gripen's job offer is interesting.
I don't believe that we've had enough jobs created and industrial benefits done out of the F-35.
But Lockheed Martin says about 30 Canadian companies are currently involved in the F-35 supply chain, and that it expects to produce over $15.5 billion in industrial value for Canada, with projects since 2007 and spanning through 2058. Analysts say Canada faces a tough choice.
There's a lot of value to the F-35 contract, as the armed forces have said in the past. It is a fully integrated aircraft. It's the most advanced fighter that we have in the Western world. The question you have to ask yourself, is that aircraft overkill for Canada?
This is how you refuel an aircraft.
Saab hopes an assembled in Canada Gripen will fly.
I mean, there's no secret. Canada has a very skilled workforce.
For Canada, it's a high-stakes decision, and the results will be measured in years to come. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Stockholm.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is embarking on yet another international trip to drum up investment in Canada. This morning, on his way to the United Arab Emirates, Carney left Ottawa late last night and is expected to land in Abu Dhabi this afternoon. He's hoping to attract capital to Canada and help build major infrastructure projects and fuel this country's energy, defense, and technology sectors. Carney will be the first Canadian Prime Minister to visit since 1983. He's expected to meet with senior government and business leaders before traveling to South Africa on Friday for the G20 summit. A 66-year-old man serving time at the Regina Correctional Center died over the weekend. On October 27th, the inmate was transferred to Pasquale Hospital in Regina because of a pre-existing health condition. He died in hospital on November 15th. The coroner service is investigating. They say foul play is not suspected. Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block talking local business yesterday. Jeremy Dodge, what did she have to say?
Well, the mayor was on the hot seat, Daryl, speaking to business leaders in the afternoon. And it comes just a week before contentious budget talks begin at City Hall. Keenan Sorokhan reports.
From city spending to policing and homelessness, Mayor Cynthia Block answered questions from NSBA members as she sharpens her pencil to look for additional savings alongside the rest of council to avoid an 8.2% property tax hike next year. And as much as she wants to save money, she doesn't want to put more on the books next year and beyond.
I think it's wise that we take that long view and make the tough decisions now rather than paying more money later, just to have a reprieve from property tax right now.
There's no shortage of tough decisions as business leaders ask the city to stay in its lane and focus on core services. The police budget alone will raise property taxes by roughly 3.7% next year if approved.
We are facing a bit of an anomaly based on that police budget. And also a reminder that, 8.23 is the beginning, not the end of the budget discussion.
Keith Moen doesn't want council to get lost in the 2026 budget, as council will also mull a 5.9% hike in 2027.
I think the budget needs to be considerate of that because the second year will be as important as this first year.
Moen says businesses are hoping council can keep the increases minimal, with taxes going up 11% the last 2 years combined.
We use the pebble in a knapsack analogy, right? Because it's just another thing that's a cost increase that's going to cause businesses more challenging times ahead of them.
8.2% would be the largest property tax increase in the city's history if approved. The previous high was 7.4% in 2014. Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Daryl, there are a number of anxious federal workers after the passing of the federal budget this week.
Yeah, still waiting on word on which jobs will be cut as a result. The union saying they should find out soon.
We haven't heard any new information. The budget just passed. We expect that our members would be notified by their managers shortly.
The government plans to reduce the size of the federal public service by 28,000 jobs by 2029. Part of the budget's plan to find $60 billion in savings over the next 5 years. As part of the comprehensive expenditure review, the government will reduce 16,000 full-time equivalent positions, including 650 executive spots. Another 12,000 positions eliminated through attrition and early retirement. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon said he believes that the impact on people with involuntary departures will be minimal. Conservative MP Shannon Stubbs is facing angry social media messages after missing Monday's budget vote while recovering from major surgery. A number of angry messages were directed at Stubbs on social media for missing the vote, with some calling her a traitor. A statement she posted on social media says she underwent jaw and chin surgery as a result of a significant medical condition. Nunavut has selected its next premier. John Main won in a secret ballot vote in Nunavut's legislature. He's a third-term MLA who served as the territory's health minister in the previous assembly. He will be the territory's first non-Inuk leader. A new report warns that less than half of Canadian adults are getting enough physical activity. In its 2025 report card, Participation notes that just 46% of Canadian adults are meeting the guidelines for physical activity, a number that has been stagnant for years. The report says the physical activity is costing the healthcare system $3.9 billion a year, and that a modest 15% increase in physical activity could save nearly $1 billion each year in healthcare, absenteeism and chronic disease management. A Russian strike on Ukraine's western city of Ternopil killed at least 20 people, including 2 children. Now, this early morning strike was the deadliest attack on Ukraine for weeks, and one of the worst on the western side of the country. Kiev's Air Force says Russia fired more than 476 drones and 48 missiles overnight. The attacks also injured at least 46 in the northeastern region of Kharkiv and targeted other areas of western Ukraine. The attacks come as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visits Turkey in a new peace drive. Canadian history is going up for auction today as Hudson's Bay Company sells 27 of its paintings. 27 of the most valuable pieces at Hudson Bay's art collection set to hit the auction block. It's being overseen by Heffel Fine Art Auction House. The star of the show is expected to be a painting of Marrakech by former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. It's valued between $400,000 and $600,000. Third period collapse for the Moose Jaw Warriors led their winless streak to 3.
Jacobson moving to the middle. Wrist shot off a shin pad. Brzezinski scores.
Grayson Brzezinski had a pair of goals, including the game winner. Brandon beat Moose Jaw by a score of 6-4. The Pats are the only team from Saskatchewan in action tonight, but they are playing in Spokane, Washington. The Northwest, oh my goodness, they're getting some snow. Winter has returned, and it doesn't look much better behind you.
Yeah, well, the north and central zones saw that precipitation overnight, and we can see that on the highway hotline as we're seeing that pink color. That all means it's covered. Drive carefully out there. Those dotted lines you see indicate that the visibility is reduced, so that could also mean the fog that we're seeing down towards the south. We're seeing the worst fog this morning in Regina, areas of Yorkton, down through Estevan, and then also up through La Ronge and Prince Albert as well. So we're seeing some fog really all across the province. Down in the southwest corner, Swift Current also waking up to a little bit of fog. So again, drive very carefully out there this morning, folks. 2 degrees right now to wake us up in Regina. We're not going to be getting too much warmer this afternoon, as the high is only about 3 degrees. That is above the seasonal average, so things aren't so bad, just still not a very warm day. Some cloud cover once this fog also pushes off, and winds currently coming in at 9 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we're still at -1, but take a look at that winter wonderland on our morning view. You can't help but smile, right? Unless you have to go out and get on those roads, but aesthetically, just gorgeous this morning. Radar and satellite showing how that system moved through last night and into early this morning. So of course that system came with some rain, freezing rain, and those flurries. Still seeing the last little bit of it. You can see that on this screen right now. This is current. So we're seeing it right around the Prince Albert area right now. As we make our way through into the early parts of the afternoon, it passes right over top of the Nipawin area there, and then fully goes into northern Manitoba there. At this time, we're also seeing clouds start to clear down in the central and southern zones, so we will be seeing a little bit more sunshine than what we saw yesterday. That will be nice to see. Thursday afternoon, not seeing a lot in terms of the precipitation. We do see some more clouds moving in for Friday morning, though, and then by the early afternoon, Prince Albert will be seeing some of that freezing rain and some flurries in areas north of Prince Albert. Turning our attention now to the current temperatures, -12 in Stony Rapids this morning, -3 in Nipawin, -1 in Melfort. Down towards the south, we are seeing some more of those positive temperatures. So 3 degrees in Assiniboia, 4 degrees in Moose Jaw right now, 2 degrees to wake us up in Estevan, and 0 degrees in Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, temperatures not going up all that much. Moose Jaw up to 5. Sharing that temperature of 5 degrees will be Weyburn and Estevan, 2 degrees through Yorkton, and 1 degree through Prince Albert. In Regina, we're not seeing a lot for precipitation until early next week, so Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures dropping on Tuesday down to about -5. In Saskatoon, we could be seeing that snowfall a little bit earlier Saturday morning, but we're not seeing it currently on our radar carry into the afternoon. We're going to be seeing that mix of sun and cloud. On Monday and Tuesday, though, right now we're seeing that continue on into the afternoon hours. 0 degrees on Monday with that snow falling, and down to -6 on Tuesday.
Back at the great year of 2003, Alvin Curling was elected as Ontario's first black Speaker of the Legislature. In 2001, Nelson Mandela became the first living recipient of honorary Canadian citizenship. And November 19, 2006, Nintendo released the Wii, its first video game console with motion control.
If you haven't started your Christmas shopping yet, sorry, you missed out on this beauty, an 18-karat gold toilet.
Your chances of circling the drain, all of you, at 10 million.
Yeah, it's sold for $12 million. And it's not just pretty to look at, it's fully functional.
I hope so.
Now, it comes from the same artist responsible for that masterpiece, Banana Taped to the Wall. Remember that one from a couple of years ago?
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
This is so unnecessary.
Golden Throne. There you go. Enjoy. Enjoy. I've already bought my first couple of Christmas gifts. I'm stocking up on Labubus for Kayleen.
Oh,
talked to her yesterday. She wants
very good.
as many as possible. What's something that can always change your bad mood? I assume for you it's a Labubu.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that today is actually National Bad Day Day, which is just so curious, because why do we have a day dedicated to having a bad day? So we want to ask you, what turns that frown upside down on a bad day? What could make it better? This answer coming in saying, Daryl's socks make my day. Daryl, what socks are you wearing today, buddy?
I got some gray and red stripy things here today.
Okay, all right. Lori's saying something that makes my day better is seeing a child happy, smiling, whether it's my grandkids or kids at the school that I work at. Another answer saying my children visiting me makes my day beautiful and happy. John writing in, loving texts from my friends and family members early in the mornings. And take a look at this cute one. Of course, our pets can brighten our day. We had Margie saying, seeing my sweetheart Harley's face, she could brighten anyone's day. And we have this one on the right side of the screen, this little pal. He makes my day every day. Of course, we're seeing that snow falling in parts of the central zone today, so the first snowfall of the year makes me happy. I don't know about everyone happy, but definitely me. And Bailey's saying soup, so many different kinds, and it's always comforting, especially on a snowy day. So make yourself a big pot of soup if you're waking up to those flurries this morning. Thank you so much for those answers for today's question of the day.
At Virginia Tech, a study is underway to see what ultra-processed foods do to the body.
So these are our two test meals that subjects consume.
Participants are given nutritionally equivalent meals, one minimally processed and the other ultra-processed.
We've matched these on things like calories, carbs and fats, and sodium.
I'm here to see what happens to my body when I try the ultra-processed meal.
This is the metabolic chamber. It's essentially the size of a twin bed.
Over a 2-hour period, they'll take measurements and blood work.
So after 50 minutes, we'll tell you when you can start eating it.
We're going to see how my body responds to eating this food. I'm really excited to see what differences are going to happen.
Okay, at this time, if you want to go ahead and start eating the meal, you have 10 minutes to finish it.
After several blood draws, it's time to see what the impact is on my blood sugar.
We started at right around 100. At minute 20, we saw it go up slightly, and now we're up to 133. And so now that the food's fully been digested around minute 40, we're seeing quite an increase. All righty, we're all done.
Now, it's time to see how my response compares to other people in the study.
You're going to see, as long as there's carbs or sugar in there, you're going to see your blood sugar come up, and what you're looking for is to return to lower levels for the majority of the day.
The gray line is the average participant response to eating the ultra-processed food. The orange shows the minimally processed meal response, and the black line showing a dramatic spike in my blood sugar 1 hour after eating the ultra-processed meal.
So it tells us that our blood sugar is responding to how the food is made, not necessarily what's in it.
It's remarkable to see how the food we eat directly impacts our bodies, both in the short and long term. Chronically high blood sugar, for example, can potentially lead to diabetes. But not all processed foods are equal.
The majority of ultra-processed foods are high in fat, they're high in sugar, they're low in fiber, and they're low in protein. But is there something about the processing itself, whether that be that mechanical or physical processing or the additives, that is leading to a different outcome in the body?
For many, it's hard to distinguish the degree of how processed a food is.
We need to have the best information to make the best decisions that we can for the health of ourselves and the health of our families.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
The word to describe Mike Siona this morning? Festive. He joins us now on location.
Well, our festive center top here, or table center, I guess, is taking shape at Dutch Growers as we're talking all things Christmas, from trees to these wonderful arrangements with Jill Van Dyvendijk. And we're just building the final touches here.
Final touches here. So what we've done is we've taken the floral foam, we put it in here, found a focal point in the middle, and then just kind of worked around. And now we're going to add some other elements in here. So I got these little wicker balls, and we're going to stick them kind of in the arrangement just to add a little bit of texture. You got a little bow here. We just sort of wrapped a piece of ribbon around a stick. So we're just going to sort of stick it in. It's kind of a cheating way to make a bow. And then I'm going to put a flameless candle in here. So we're just going to set that in the center and then add some little berries. So just a little bit of a red touch.
And it can be as elaborate or as scaled back as you want to make it. And the cool thing here is there's no official front, right? Because no matter what side of the table you're on, you want to have a look. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're building it.
Yeah, you can look at it from all different directions, and you can sort of see our finished product is right here, nice and easy. So yeah, you can come and get inspired, or you can pick one of these up to go. But I really love bringing the freshness into my home and having something that I can kind of do myself.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. Okay, we got 45 seconds left. We've talked about a lot of stuff today. If you're buying Christmas trees, do it quickly and make sure you fresh cut the end.
Fresh cut the end. Make sure you're looking for the weight of that Christmas tree. Get a nice heavy tree so that it has lots of water in it. Fresh cut and keep it hydrated.
And finally, if you forgot, or you just joining us for the first time this morning, tomorrow is a big day here at Dutch.
Yeah, we're open till 8 p.m. So stop by the store 10 till 8. There's festivities happening. Tastings, come and get inspired.
The Christmas open house. I guess that means that Christmas season is officially opened.
I'll be somewhere over the radar, dreaming about those rodeo nights.
The 2025 CMA Awards are tonight, and Pure Country has you covered. Let's go live to Nashville, Tennessee, and welcome in Shannon Ella. You hear her middays on Pure Country 92.7. Shannon, thank you for doing this with us. Let's talk, first and foremost, about the big award on the night, and that is the Entertainer of the Year.
Yes, entertainer. It's a big one, and I feel like, a lot of people have their picks. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like this year, a lot of the entertainers I've had a chance to see in concert, so I will say I feel like they're all worthy recipients. Luke Combs, obviously an incredible one, and we talked to him yesterday, and he just said he feels like it's a really exciting time in country music right now with social media and just so much music being out. But it'll be interesting to see who takes home, the big one of the night. I feel like I got to root for my girl Lainey just because, she's the solo female in there, and her show, if you've not seen it, it is incredible.
One that I've not yet seen, and it is definitely on my list. Let's talk about those new artists, because we love promoting those on Pure Country 92.7. We've got our artist, Spotlight Artist, every month. Some of these started out there, but they're a little bit beyond that now.
Yes. Well, honestly, it's been really cool because we've been set up here in Nashville for the last 2 days and talked to a couple of the new artist nominees. We had Stephen Wilson Jr. here yesterday, and Shabuzi's also in that category, and they have a song together, and it's just interesting to see, how they are all actually friends and cheering each other on. Tucker Wetmore, Ella Langley, and they're really rooting for each other. Like, when you see country artists, you always hope that they're actually friends, and it's not just, this front that they put on, but they are all just like happy to see the other person win. So it's kind of like a big family reunion here. But Stephen Wilson Jr., he's going to be performing. I think he said he's performing Stand By Me. I don't know if that's like a secret that I wasn't supposed to share, but I'm going to share it. And so you can watch it tonight. But he said he's really nervous because it's going to be a really moving performance. So I'm excited to see him up there.
All right, and you are there for a good reason. That is to file content, feed the machine. So what kind of things can we find on the website?
Oh my gosh, 42 interviews in 2 days. So we have talked to pretty much the entire country music industry. You can find it on our social media, of course, on our Pure Country Radio YouTube channel and our website as well. So there is no shortage of conversations with the biggest stars in country music. We've got them all.
Shannon, thank you for doing this. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I say good morning. It is 8:30. We begin with the royal return. Princess Kate gave her first public speech since announcing her cancer diagnosis last year, turning attention to a cause important to her. Here's James Longman.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being here today.
The Princess of Wales' first speech since her cancer diagnosis on the topic perhaps closest to her heart.
My passion and the work of the Centre for Early Childhood stems from one essential truth: that the love we feel in our earliest years fundamentally shapes who we become and how we thrive as adults.
Early childhood quickly became Kate's focus when she entered the public eye. And for this summit, she gathered CEOs from around the world, appealing to them to make work more family-friendly.
As business leaders, you will face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. But the two are not and should not be incompatible.
Arguing that making those crucial early years better is, in fact, good business.
At the Centre for Early Childhood, we believe that we must do all we can to create the conditions for love to flourish. That is how we invest in our future.
She doesn't make very many speeches. It's not something that historically has come naturally to her, but I think that showed how important this issue is to her, that she made her first speech in 2 years and that she really wanted to be heard on this subject because it's something that's so important to her.
And Kate also urged more focus on what she called time and tenderness rather than only productivity and success. Perhaps a lesson for us all. James Longman, ABC News in London.
Closer to home, a Saskatoon content creator says years of work disappeared in an instant after Facebook shut down her page with 22,000 followers. Stacey Hine has the latest.
This might just be one of the best camping spots in Saskatchewan.
Travel and adventure have become a full-time job for Ashlyn George. She spent more than a decade growing her online brand, The Lost Girl's Guide to Finding the World. But she says her Facebook page with 22,000 followers was recently shut down.
It's really stressful. I don't know what's going to happen.
Meta flagged her account for impersonation, but George says she wasn't impersonating anyone and wasn't given a chance to properly appeal. And until she paid for verification, she could only interact with AI support bots. Her account is now on hold until December 4th.
So this is affecting 3 different revenue streams where I do earn money. And to have it down for a month, especially in Q4, this is the busiest time of year, it's going to be a major impact on my business.
George is not alone. A petition called Meta Wrongfully Disabling Accounts with No Human Customer Support has nearly 50,000 signatures. signatures. It was started by an organization called People Over Platforms.
They wanted our lives on these digital platforms, and now that's what we have. They shouldn't have the right to immediately strip it away like how they have been, with not even proper support or proper appeal systems.
CTV News reached out to Meta for comment, but did not hear back by deadline. In the meantime, George is relying on her blog, email list, and Instagram, but says she's constantly on edge.
And while I can and will rebuild, there's a lack of confidence there. What if my next account is taken down?
She encourages others to back up their photos and videos, saying a suspension like this can make years of work disappear in seconds. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A local business in Regina fundraising for the Royal Canadian Legion after his restaurant was robbed earlier this month, including their Poppy Money Box. CR D'Souza Butts reports.
Tim Philp opened Dad's Diner in downtown Regina about a year ago.
Came as an offshoot from our food truck. We needed a prep kitchen for our food truck, and this was a great location for a prep kitchen, and it happened to come with a dining room, so here we are.
As many small businesses do, Philp put out a Poppy box in his restaurant in support of the Royal Canadian Legion's National Poppy Campaign. But on the night of Remembrance Day, thieves broke into the restaurant and stole the Poppy collection box, among other things.
We're just sad that it happened in the neighborhood and sad that it happened to us, of course.
In hopes of turning a bad situation around, Philp decided to put on a fundraiser to replace the lost funds. For every cinnamon bun sold, the small business will donate $1 back to the Legion.
We lost a cell phone and we lost a sound system for the restaurant, but those are pretty minor. That was something I can easily replace, but it was something we found that the Poppy box was something we could actually do something about and make a difference.
The Poppy campaign is the Legion's biggest fundraiser of the year. The nonprofit says it's not uncommon for Poppy boxes to get stolen, as businesses are relying on the public's trust.
We lose some every year because you depend a lot on trust, and if people they're left out where people can easily snatch one of them and make off with a few dollars that are in it. We have many of them around the city, and so one is not going to really dent the campaign all that much, but I really have to admire this guy's ingenuity. He's going to replace the funds that were lost.
Adding, the funds go towards all of the charitable events the branch hosts.
It was the best way to make something good out of a bad situation.
People have until November 30th to buy their cinnamon buns before the donations head to the Legion. CR D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Another celebration was held on Tuesday, this one at the Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant. Damien Smith with Why.
The Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant is celebrating 70 years of supplying fresh water for over 300,000 people in southern Saskatchewan. Some have seen it grow into a 40-person operation, vital for urban and rural communities.
We'd come over the hill and down into the valley, and it was like, oh, there's Buffalo Pound, and all the fun that we were going to have. But me, as grown up now, the water for my dairy farm, the potable water supply, comes from this location.
Fast forward to today, Ryan Johnson, the CEO, always had the plant circled on his calendar.
When I was in university as an environmental engineering student, we came out here to do a tour, and that was the first time we got to see the plant and walk through it. And at that point, you know, I had visions of working here. I wanted to work in a place where I know my time and effort mattered.
The plant supplies water to communities as far west as Mortlach, east to Sedley, south to Briarcrest, and as far north as Bethune.
So in other jobs, you know, your priorities can change day to day depending on what's going on. Our priority has always been to produce safe water, and it doesn't change from day to day. So, you know, even during COVID, you know, while other people had disruptions to their job, we still have to be here.
The area is benefiting the most from this plant. The cities of Regina with over 60 kilometers of pipes and Moose Jaw with 20.
We just take it for granted that possibly just the simple turning on of a tap, and we have a necessity of life, but one doesn't really have the full appreciation of what all has to come together for that to happen.
And the plant is under renewal, where it will be able to deliver water for the next 25 years to the surrounding areas. Damien Smith, CTV News, Buffalo Pound.
Water is falling from the sky in the form of snow in North Battleford area today.
Yeah, well, we saw that overnight and into this morning. It does seem like it's starting to try and push away, but it's not really going to be fully out of the province until the later part of the morning and early afternoon. I'll show you that on the Futurecast in just a moment here. But let's talk about this fog that we're seeing, because conditions have not been improving in the past few minutes. They've actually been getting worse in areas around Yorkton and then down through Estevan. Regina, obviously, as we can see, not really seeing too much of an improvement either. Definitely keep your eyes on the roads this morning. And then as we were talking about that snow, roads are actually covered through areas around North Battleford, down through Saskatoon as well. So everyone, just really be careful out there. Let's not rush this morning. We're at 3 degrees right now in Regina. Now, that's actually going to be our expected daytime high. So it's not really going to be getting too much warmer out there. Southwest winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon. Look at that. The sun is now finally up, and we can take an actual look at that winter wonderland behind us. It's beautiful. I know a lot of people don't like the cold, but at least it's nice to look at if you're warm inside. -1 though, winds at 9 kilometers per hour. Could be increasing slightly throughout the afternoon, up to about 30 kilometers per hour. This is how that system made its way through last night into early this morning. This is current on your screen right now, about 8:30 this morning. So we can see it's trying, it's pushing away from Saskatoon. It is still over top of Prince Albert. We're going to see it up through Nipawin later on into this morning, and then fully into Manitoba by the afternoon. Also seeing some of those clouds clear, so we will be seeing a little bit more of that sunshine compared to what we saw yesterday. It was such a gray day yesterday. Thursday looking like we will be seeing some of that sunshine as well, and then some more clouds moving in for Friday morning. And we're also seeing this system moving into the north part of the province, and Prince Albert could be seeing some of that freezing rain as well. Now, temperatures today, as we mentioned, the high for Regina today, only 3 degrees, only about 1 degree expected for Saskatoon. The average this time of year is -1.7 in Regina and -3.1 in Saskatoon. Last year it was -5.4 for Regina and -5.0 for Saskatoon. And the record for both cities back in the year 1936, we will not be getting close to those temperatures today. Across the province, though, above that seasonal average, just barely, though. Swift Current up to 2 degrees today. Moose Jaw up to about 5 degrees. Sharing that 5-degree high will be Weyburn, Estevan, cooler through Yorkton, and about 1 degree for Prince Albert. Seeing those clouds once that snow finally does push off. 0 degrees for the Battlefords, with a little bit more sunshine in the afternoon. Exploring the concept of self-compassion. What is it, and what's stopping us from achieving it? Judy Wright from Gateways Counseling joins us now for more on this discussion. Good morning.
Good morning, Kaylee.
So let's just start by talking about what exactly is self-compassion.
Yeah, so it's actually us practicing giving ourselves compassion and kindness, especially in times when there's distress or we're feeling distressed.
What are the benefits of having that self-compassion for ourselves?
Yeah, there's lots of them, actually. So there's been about 15 years of research that has been studying people that have higher self-compassion, and what they found that those people have lower psychological distress, they actually have higher well-being and health, they take better physical care of themselves, they have better relationships, and they're actually more responsible in really tough times. And then finally what they found is that you can develop self-compassion by practicing some of the self-compassion exercises.
So it sounds great in theory, but of course there's barriers to achieving anything. What are some barriers or blocks to achieving self-compassion?
Yeah, I think one of the ones that we come up with is it really going to work? Does really, if I follow this thing, does it really make a difference? And is it going to help me? And then kind of getting through it, you know, maybe do it a few times and think, well, it didn't change very much. So it's to kind of keep going. And then the other thing that we find is a lot of us, it's much easier to give compassion to someone else versus ourselves. We kind of feel like it's a little bit selfish. So it's to just remember that we have to practice for ourselves so that we can be kinder to others too.
All right. Well, how do we alleviate the discomfort with this process of achieving this?
Yeah, and I think it's to keep it in that frame that, you know, it took us a while to get where we are. Our brain's been running for a while, so we need to kind of keep going with it. Small steps. If you get a little frustrated, take a day or two off. Try to keep your practice going on a daily basis. Take some breaths and just keep it in that frame that eventually over time you're going to find some change.
All right. Well, we only have about 45 seconds left or so, but we have you here. So let's use your expertise. Guide us through a bit of this process.
Okay, so what we would do is we'd just take a really deep breath, we'd just center ourselves, and then we'd tap into three aspects. We'd imagine that we have a wise self, a strong self, and a compassionate self. And the wise self reminds us that there are things that we can't control, like our genetics or where we're born, but that we can use our brain and our thoughts to move around it. Our strong self, we can imagine that we've been through many things and we've managed them. And then our compassionate self that gives kindness to us. And then we can just ball that all together, breathe it all in, and then send that out to us today and out into the rest of our week.
A moment of calm and self-reflection this morning. Judy, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you always.
Oh, thank you.
Music's biggest night. The 59th annual CMA Awards will be handed out tonight in Nashville. Luke Combs, who this year became the best-selling country artist of all time, is up for Entertainer, Male Vocalist, and Single of the Year.
It's all very unexpected. I think you can't plan to get to this point, and obviously when I moved here, I just wanted to be able to make a living doing music, whatever that looked like. It's all been a blessing, and I'm very fortunate, and I'm just thankful, man, for the fans. I mean, it's all them.
Lainey Wilson hosts the awards on ABC. Speaking of music, Jeff Tweedy is going on tour next year. The Wilco frontman has announced a series of shows starting in Germantown, Tennessee this week and running through next June.
I thought about starting at the beginning.
Kristen Stewart is trying her hand at directing. The Chronology of Water is now out with its first trailer. Stewart's directorial debut is about a professional swimmer who turns to writing to overcome addiction and past trauma. It's out in limited release next month.
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
But in a good way.
And happy birthday to a rom-com queen, Meg Ryan, who starred in When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle, turned 64 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
But I keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I want you less, but I just want you more. So I keep coming back. We dreaming hard, we came so far now. I believe we're going up, and down.
The way you got me all in my head. Think I'd rather you in my bed.
Greetings, everyone. Over the years, Cadmus DeLorme has worn many hats: chief, entrepreneur, and now chancellor of his alma mater. With a new position, he plans to continue pushing the importance of education and championing reconciliation. We caught up with him at the University of Regina's 2025 Fall Convocation, where he performed his ceremonial duties for the first time. An historic moment for the University of Regina. Former chief of Cowessess First Nation and local businessman Cadmus DeLorme being instilled as the chancellor of the university. He's the first Indigenous person to hold the role. DeLorme reflects on the treaty signings, the talks of education for future generations, making this moment possible.
This is what our ancestors wanted us to do. They wanted us to succeed and be Indigenous on our land, and also succeed in the Canadian perspective as well. Learn to walk in both worlds. You don't have to compete. They coexist. And I'm a prime example of what reconciliation is.
There have been 9 other chancellors in the U of R's history. The chancellor is responsible for the academic welfare of the institution, is a member of the Board of Governors, as well as a representative of the university. Leadership are excited to have DeLorme on board and the impact he will have in the university and beyond.
His leadership will be transformational as chancellor
chancellor, and he's going to have an impact on the entire community, faculty, staff, and I'll say students as well in a great way. It's a really exciting time, and I would say it's a new beginning in terms of what he will bring to that office.
DeLorme has been a part of the U of R in some capacity for many years, first becoming a student in 2008, earning 2 degrees, and eventually holding the chair of the Board of Governors for the university.
He's a role model for younger youth and for things to aspire to, especially for Indigenous peoples in this province. It's a testament to where we are, not only as a province, but where we're moving towards, and I think that's something positive.
The University of Regina recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. DeLorme is looking forward to serving the place that taught him so much about himself and plans to do so for years to come.
I wear this with pride for all the alumni of the First Nations University of Canada and the Saskatchewan Indian Federated College and the elders that prayed for that institution. And to be a part of the University of Regina and the bigger family, I'm here for all the 95,000 alumni.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
A couple in BC is sharing their story of how they fell in love while working together. Here is CTV's Adam Sawatsky with their fairy tale.
It was not smooth sailing when working on this BC ferry. Les Fox first met Jordan Sankey.
And I said, "You're Jordan." She goes, "And who the HE double hockey sticks are you?"
Not one bit did I like this man. I thought he came off as arrogant.
Well, I guess I come off as a bit of a jerk sometimes, but I'm actually a nice guy.
Although Les worked in the engine room downstairs and Jordan supported the customers upstairs, they happened to meet again in the common crew room when she walked in with her dinner to find only him.
I felt like it would be way too rude to walk out.
So she stayed, before their initially awkward conversation turned unexpectedly effortless.
I found out she's intelligent in ways that I'm not intelligent in.
That he's not actually mean, and that he's actually quite a very funny man.
And for the rest of the week, they ended up spending all their dinner breaks together.
I guess we've just kind of been inseparable ever since.
They started seeing each other away from work, and along with having a lot of fun, inspired each other to be better people.
He's just taught me so much. It's too much to even say.
Over the past 2 years together, Les says he's learned to be more kind and lower that tough exterior.
I can be open and truly loving with Jordan. I've never really felt like this before with anybody.
So, during a recent road trip, Les says he made an impromptu proposal.
And then I remember just being like, "Hey, you want to get married?" And she was like, "Yeah."
That was not his idea. That was mine.
No matter who asked whom, Jordan and Les both decided to vow "I do" where they first met, on board a BC ferry, surrounded by 70 members of their ferry family.
You may kiss your bride.
It was very overwhelming. Felt completely right.
She takes care of me, and I want to take care of her.
And if this fairy tale romance were to have a fairy tale moral, Jordan and Les say it's don't judge a book by its cover. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
That's very sweet.
A boat is the right place to get married.
Oh,
Take it from me.
Do you know anybody who did that? No. Time for your sidebar stories. So you got married on a boat and you probably took some pictures. This one's for you.
All right, thank you. A handful of Saskatchewan residents have been recognized for capturing the beauty of our province. Tourism Saskatchewan chose this photo of 2 children on a dock at Birds Point, taken by Lindsay McLeod of Regina as the grand prize winner of its 2025 Explore Sask photo contest in the People and Places category.
Beautiful shots.
Yeah, so another one here, though. North Battleford's Gilbert Katernich won in the Prairie category for his image capturing a summer storm in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Beautiful. And Prince Albert's Lillian Donahue took this photo of some shorebirds on a reflective reed lake, winning in the wildlife category.
That looks like it could belong to like an IKEA print that you buy.
Yeah, one that goes up in the house. Beautiful. All right, some beautiful photos there.
And what do we have here? We don't have the words to go along with the scripting, but it looks fun. A little bit of Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes
Some of our
we
finer
have
sites.
technical issues.
I've got this pet gremlin that bounces around in the system from time to time. Saskatoon's Shannon Chu took home top honors in the video category. That's what it was. Saskatoon on a Saturday, it's called, featuring some comings and goings in the downtown area. Tourism Saskatchewan launched its photo contest in July, received 3,700 plus entries. There you go.
Wow. Well, congratulations to all of the winners.
You've captured our awkward moment. Team Canada unveiled its new look for the Olympics.
I love pretty much every piece. It's very warm, it's very comfortable, very versatile. We have all kinds of things we can mix and match.
Canada's partnered with Lululemon for the uniforms. You can see them there, and let's be honest, they're very nice, but they're going to cost you an absolute fortune.
Okay, but what? There was just a very strange looking jacket there. I love the puffer jackets. Look at one of these ones too. Gorgeous.
Stunning, and it can be yours for probably my left leg. That is it for us today. Enjoy your morning. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
I'd pay the price of your left leg.